Alright, I am Mike the Zorch, and welcome to Gamers Bay's first live review of No Man's Sky Next. I am joined by Tiger Khan.
Hello.
And our friend Dave.
Hello.
And so we're doing a... sounds like I have to turn off the voice. We're doing voice via Discord, so I have to turn off the voice in the game once I get loaded, because it's loading the shaders now. But it's been a long journey getting to where we are now with No Man's Sky. The No Man's Sky Next dropped on the 24th. It is a significant upgrade for the game. It is almost a 2.0. We'll be going through a lot of the differences and a lot of the changes that were made to the game by the next update. And a few things I want to point out immediately before starting this review. One, if you bought the version of this game on Good Old Games, multiplayer doesn't work. The reason being, Good Old Games does not have a friend chat feature. In fact, they don't have a client. Well, they do have a client, but it's completely optional. So if you bought the game from there, you don't have multiplayer yet. So what may happen is Hello Games might either tap into the API for Discord or the Xbox app in Windows 10. Now, since some people still play the game on Windows 7, they probably won't tap into the Xbox app. They might tap into Discord. That would be the smart thing to do. The harder thing to do would be to have Good Old Games develop their own friend chat system, which they really should have. I mean, a lot of people do buy games off Good Old Games, but that would mean waiting a long time until that's working to get it going. Whereas tying into the Discord APIs would be a lot better. That would only take them like maybe a month or two to iron out, because it needs that in order to propagate a friends list of people who are your friends who are playing the game, so you can join them online. That's how it works on the PS4, PSN, Xbox Live, and Steam. So if you bought the game on GOG, you can't play multiplayer yet, but you do get everything else. You get all the changes, all the improvements, everything else that came with Next. With that said, let us start taking a look at the game so far. It's been a graphical overhaul. I'm here above a planet with rings, and these are real rings. These are actual rings. And my controls are a little wonky here. I may have to... yeah, my controls are backwards. It's my first time starting this one. Okay. Muted those because we're using Discord. Controls. Oh, wait a minute. General options. Flight tethered. Normal. Inverted. Okay. Okay, that's better. Right. So we've been playing the game for some time now. And since launch. I mean, we played 14 hours straight after the game launched on Steam. And we had one hell of a time. I mean, it was fun. I sort of kind of started a small war. Nice.
I'm gonna do this
So, Tigra, why don't you basically give your thoughts on this update? Because I think this I'll save my thoughts until a little bit later. Why don't you give your thoughts on the game so far?
I think, well, obviously there's a few bugs, but that's expected. They're cleaning them up. They're rapidly now. That's pretty. I'm sorry, I'm being distracted by environment here. First off, the game is way better. Like that's why I'm so distracted here because visually, it is just incredible. Yesterday before we got into our little incident, I was spending at least I was just flying through the clouds, just enjoying the scenery.
Yeah.
Overall, it's strange because it's like it's a massive update, and in a way, it's only added like 4 or 5 major features, but a lot of little details. But those 4 or 5 major things combined with everything they've already done,
Yeah.
make for a extremely different experience than it was back in the The main things are
The things that were done is what we would call ninja updates, meaning
the other one. Yeah.
Yeah.
The base building has been significantly different. That's nothing like the prior game. That is brand new. That is something that is this is one time where they took an older feature and just it is so different. It's got a lot of the same stuff added to the progression system. It's extremely different. Freighters are expanded, is what I'll call it. I won't call it overhauled. I'll call it expanded. It took what they did before and added a whole ton of stuff to it. It wasn't altered, but because you still have the one freighter that you always had, and the internal stuff is different, and then you have the frigates, which I've only got one, so I've only had limited experience with that.
yeah.
But that's expanded. But the standout feature is the multiplayer.
Yes.
Now, they did do something interesting, I think, which are going to kind of rattle some people's cages a little bit, is if it's a random encounter, it's still an orb. I'm not entirely sure why they did that. It's going to kind of cause probably some minor cantankerousness, but you can still hear them, interact with them, and then they can turn right around and join you, though, if they wanted to.
Yeah.
You have random drop-in things. I'm not entirely sure how that works. I haven't done that. We just drop in on a random player, so I'm not sure what you see there. I guess you see them on info, so you can just randomly show up to somebody's base and, I don't know, harass them. I don't really know how that part works. I hadn't tried it. And then you've got the best part of it. The drop-in 4-player co-op. That's where this game is focused at right now.
Yeah.
That is insane fun.
Oh, it is.
That's so it is focused. It is not PvP, not designed to be. It is not meant to be that kind of game. If you want that, you're better off with a game that's focused toward that. But if you and a couple of friends, up to 4, want to get together, 4 people, you and 3 others, want to get together and have a great time in this game, there's a lot to offer. That's where he said full multiplayer. That's where it's at. And I think a lot of people think full multiplayer, they get in their brains MMO. No, it's not an MMO. It's not Call of Duty. It's not EVE Online. It's not any of those. It's not Star Wars. It's none of that. it's closer to Minecraft than anything else. The way the multiplayer works is much closer to Minecraft.
Yeah.
Because you and your team, now you can shoot each other, you can take damage, you can hit each other from the ship. The story's the same. Let's see what else. Raiders, multiplayer, the graphics, just insanely beautiful. What am I missing? There's five major things. I'm missing some stuff.
I don't know, the graphics have had a big overhaul.
The story hadn't changed. So the graphics is a massive overhaul.
Okay, now this is interesting. The water looks different here on this machine. No, wait a minute. No, that's similar. Still. Because my personal rig in there, yeah, the water edge looks the same. Okay, it was slightly different. I thought maybe
might be the planet you're on.
No, I'm on our base world.
This world looks the same as ours.
Okay.
So what's confusing a lot of people, and this happens often with this game, is the update. People think that the update has all this other content in it.
Yeah.
And in actuality, a lot of the content people think are part of Next has actually been there since 1.38.
Yes.
Just people have not played it in all that time. They don't realize what's already been in the game, and they think all of this is Next. When Next has really made 5 major features: multiplayer, the graphics overhaul, the freighters, the base building. What's that last one? I can't get them all. But anyway, it's 5 major features, and then a lot of little tiny things that add detail to the world.
Yeah.
So it enhanced what we had in 1.38, which was already big, and this just takes it. It's like it's almost a logarithmic effect. It's almost a logarithmic effect. It's the way that it's kind of stacking up.
Yeah.
Each update's built upon each other, and the totality of the 4 updates, then combined together, is making for an incredible experience. And we've had some really good fun with this. I was grinning to the clouds, peacefully, quietly, minding my own business. And then I hear Mr. Anderson screaming like a little banshee because he got himself into some trouble. Apparently he made a sentinel mad. He decided to take it on. And then the sentinel's behavior is way more aggressive. He didn't know this. And then the sentinels got madder. So he was out in space, and I decided, okay, I'm already here, I'll join him. So I fly over to where he was. And I go there, and he's making a beeline towards the planet, and I see 2 sentinel ships, two triangle ships chasing him. I take fire at him. I take down those 2. We take them out. It's quiet for a few moments, and then we hear, and I see, warp point rings showing up. It's like, okay, it's gonna be in trouble. And next thing we know, a whole month batch of them shows up. And then more shows up, so we make a beeline to the atmosphere. I'm taking them on, he's taking them on. Next thing you know, we're out, we're shooting at 5 of them. So I decide I'm in over my head, decide to land. Unbeknownst to me, the flying ones can summon the ground ones. So next thing I know, I had flyers chasing me, and the next thing I know, they bring out the dogs. This is escalating quickly. So I decide to use the multi-tool, the terrain editor. I dig down. I think the dog decided to try to chase me down the tunnel. The opening wasn't big enough. He got stuck and janked into the wall, and he was shooting through the wall, and I couldn't shoot back, and that's how he finally got me. So, but they are more aggressive. They do not give up. It is GTA 5 style, where when they lose you, they'll start a countdown. And then when that countdown reaches 0, they'll give up. But if they spot you, it'll start all over again. And if you take them out, they'll just send the next wave. And they'll keep coming. So you have to evade them long enough to get them to stop. You cannot beat them into submission.
No.
They will eventually just out-Borgify you by just outclassing you, getting tougher each time. To my knowledge so far, there's no ending to it. But overall, this game is extremely good. This update is, there's some bugs and things, but that's expected. Nothing new there. But overall, wow is my review. I can sum my review up in one word. Wow.
Yes. That's been our overall experience with No Man's Sky Next is...
And there's a lot of subtle changes. Here's an example of a subtle change that they didn't put into patch notes. They didn't tell you it was in there. They didn't announce it, but it's little things like what I'm about to tell you. They changed the beacon, the scanner beacon that you get, the little scan beacon, and it requires little navigation data modules now that you get randomly. I put one in it, and it gave me the location and asked me what I wanted to look for. I said monolith. I was trying to find our gate address or our Stargate on our planet. I said, give me a monolith. Okay, identified a monolith. I went over to the monolith. And then at the monolith, it was the standard, hey, we are the Gek, we are the first spawn monolith. And it's where you learn language. But there was a second option. It's like, it said, locate ancient structures. I'm like, or something like that. And I was like, okay, that's new. So I click it because it's new, shiny new thing. And then it gave me a grave beacon on another planet in the system. I'm like, oh, okay. So I go to that site, I fly up there, I go to that site, and it's this dirty, stinky ground, and there's what looks like one of those larger ancient structures, but it was broken. I thought the game had glitched. So I landed looking at it going, what's going on? I look around, and I decided to use the scanner for the visor to look down, and there was those little, they look like the things you learn languages from, but they were underground. Like, okay. So I dig down, and it was a little box. I open it, and it had ancient key in it. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So I start looking around, I find some more. I found the second ancient key. Oh, this is important. And I look into a third box, and it was a big box. And it had, not things were like repair tech, it had 3 ancient key slots. I'm like, ooh. So I go back up, and I found 3 or 4 more, so I had 6 keys total. I went back down, and I was able to open that box, and it was some kind of strange fossilized thing that was worth 900,000. So a whole new adventure there of discovery, and they don't put anything, there's nothing like that in the patch notes or anything. So there's all kinds of little tiny tidbits that are in the game, content they're not even telling you about, that they've added like that.
Okay, yeah, this is one of the glitches right here, where the walls of this old structure are missing. They're there, but you can't see the textures of them. It's weird.
Yeah, the frigates are glitchy too, because sometimes you can't, there's like bounding box issues. I've been reporting them, and I think the problem we had, Mike, I think the problem we had with the sound, that might have been a memory leak or something, because they said they fixed some memory leaks and things like that. Yeah. And I noticed when I was in the station with Dave a while ago, that cleared up. Okay, that's interesting. It started to do rainy weather here, where I'm at, and the sky got completely cloudy. You still have the big clouds, but the background's completely whited out. Yeah. If that was a darker gray, it would look thunderstormy. It's letting me build these things on the ground here, and I've already got them in my freighter. It says limit of 1, but 2 through 9 don't have it. So the storage containers are really glitched out. Yeah, the storage containers are really jacked.
Yeah, there's a lot of things in this game that need work.
But that was true for all the other updates in the original release. I think the thing is though, they wound up stopping working on them after a while when they started working on the next expansion, and they just left a lot of bugs just dangling for a long time. I'm hoping with the weekly updates that they're going to be doing that they're going to be fixing these things more regularly now, because they're going to do that more regularly. That's what they've said anyway. That's their words now. That one's pure ferrite. Anyway, go ahead. I'm pretty much.
Oh yeah. But yeah, overall, I'd say this is a good update to No Man's Sky. It's one thing is if you're new to this, if you're coming into this from the Xbox, you're playing something that is a culmination of 2 years of work. And we've been playing this since day one, since 1.0, when it had the disastrous launch because the game had to be shipped out. Hello Games had to meet contractual obligations to launch the game, and they launched too early. But the code for all the things that are in this update was embedded in the game. This was found by Rayrod, who is one of the most prolific modders for No Man's Sky. He found tons of stuff, but it wasn't activated, and he used a lot of that hidden code for his mods. He simply activated some of it that was working. And if you look back at a lot of the videos with Sean Murray, he will say specifically stuff that is in this update that he said would not be available at launch. It was something that they were working on that would have multiplayer but wouldn't be available at launch. He said this before the game originally launched 2 years ago. So basically all the people just screaming and crying and yelling that Sean Murray lied, fake news. Essentially. Fake news. You hear Sean Murray lies, if you hear someone scream Sean Murray lied, they're lying. It's fake news. Because
I think the big misunderstanding is Sean is kind of weird in how he talks. He's one of those people. He's very, very smart, but at the same time, there's some things he's very naive on. And I don't think any of it was out of malice. I just think that sometimes he gets confused. Like our friend Dave, he's really smart on some things, and other things he's really challenged on. And I think Sean's like that. I think he's really smart in some areas, and at the same time, he's really challenged, especially his communication skills. He's really challenged on those.
Yeah.
And he doesn't do so. He doesn't do so well in that. What happens is he is seeing things in front of him that are light years ahead of where the game's release is at, that they're working on. And so he's excited because he's getting to mess with this stuff before anybody else, because he's writing it. And he gets excited about that, and that's what he wants to tell you about. But the problem is, the time when he's thinking about that and he's trying to talk about it, And the time we actually get it is a long way apart. And that's where all that comes from.
Oh yeah.
He gets excited. He gets jazzed up. He's thinking of about what he's seeing on his desk that nobody else gets to see. And he's kind of telling you more of what's coming than what is. I think if you listen to what he says and always put his stuff in the future tense, I think it'll clarify a lot of understanding with him. Put everything he said in a future tense context, and then it'll all make sense.
Yeah.
Because he's out in another space by, ahead of you in time. Put it in that context, and you'll realize if you do that, it's not lies. He's just telling you what's coming.
Mm-hmm. Because
that's where everybody got confused.
Another thing also is a lot of people made speculations about this game. About what they wanted.
Yeah. There were people, even in this update, even here, in next, I'm not going to call this guy out by name, but I think anybody who hears this probably get him who it is. But I'm not going to call him out by name. I do think that, but for him personally, and a few others, they wanted an MMO.
Yeah.
It wasn't that they were looking at what they were getting, they were thinking about what they were wanting. And they hyped it up themselves. They hyped themselves up on what they wanted it to be. And Sean said full multiplayer.
Yep.
And yes, it is full multiplayer. It's not the multiplayer they want.
Mm-hmm.
Elite Dangerous is full multiplayer. Minecraft is full multiplayer. Final Fantasy XIV is full multiplayer. But it works differently. Call of Duty is full multiplayer. It works differently. There's 4 games there that have 4 different kinds of multiplayer. No one would argue that they're not multiplayer.
Yeah.
But everybody knows the multiplayer works differently. What happened was, Sean said full multiplayer. He didn't say what kind. Everybody made the assumption in MMO without asking him what kind of multiplayer. That was the mistake happened. They didn't find out. They didn't wait to find out what kind of multiplayer it was.
Yep.
And they made assumptions, and they got mad when the assumptions weren't what they wanted. Because Elite Dangerous is just like this game. It's got wings or people with random drop-ins of people around you. This game and Elite Dangerous share a very similar multiplayer system. It's very similar to Minecraft, where you've got drop-in multiplayer functionality. It has that aspect to it. Call of Duty and all of them have a completely different system. But they have a limited number of players, and in MMOs are just as many as they can cram onto your screen as they can. They're all multiplayer. Nobody argues that. So for this one, it's kind of multiplayer. It's a 4-player co-op mode, but your interaction with your other players inside the world is completely full multiplayer. You can shoot them. You can kick them. What was it I did to you the other day? I did something to you where you were sitting on the ground and I was digging the ground up from underneath you and you were dropping through the hole. That was funny.
Yeah.
You flew up in your ship and you were taking damage when I hit you with my multi-tool. You can even do sky to ground and ground to sky damage. So it's full multiplayer, interactive. I can see you, I can shoot you, I can watch you dance and jig and emote. We can, we can share resources back and forth. There's nothing that we can't do that we would expect to be able to do in multiplayer. That's what Sean meant. Nobody asked that part of it. That's the question that somebody should have asked him. How does the multiplayer specifically work? They made assumptions, and that's what got out of control. And they got mad because that's not what they were getting.
Yep.
Now, we know that Hello Games is going to be continually updating this game. If the community bugs them enough for a 5th mode of online only, they could add it, but don't expect it overnight. Maintaining that kind of server infrastructure and MMO type of stuff is a big freaking deal. And even if they started tomorrow, you're probably looking at a year or two before they would be able to launch it.
Oh, yeah. I
And
mean,
you're looking at server infrastructure that they don't have right now.
oh, look at any new major multiplayer game. Like most of the big major multiplayer games have had major issues with, you know, disconnects and everything. I mean,
it happens all the time.
Warframe had issues in the beginning, and Destiny had issues with people staying connected, and even Final Fantasy 14 had issues. Oh God,
it's hard to run those kind of servers.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: they're not going to be able to do it for free. They will not. They'll run out of money if they try it.
Yeah.
If they try it right now without any kind of financial income other than game sales, they will run out of money.
Yep.
They will need to have either a transaction system, which they're on the borderline of being able to add if you look at what they've got, or some kind of subscription or some kind of hybrid.
Yep.
Subscription model is generally frowned upon nowadays, but you still can exist. You can do like what ESO does and have a hybrid system.
Mm-hmm.
People who want to support the game and have that kind of content can subscribe, and then you'll get free content where you can opt out of that, go online, and then you have the option of purchasing things as they come out.
ESO was buy to play.
Yeah. Well, okay, I see what you're saying. You still had to buy the game, yeah. But that would be true here. It would be the same model here if they added it.
Okay. Someone entered voice chat, and he said that Sean Murray said it would be like Journey or Dark Souls. Yes, very much so. Where someone could in Dark Souls, someone could invade your game. It wasn't full-on multiplayer where it was a shared world. Players could come into your game from their game, basically. It's like that.
Yeah.
So this is what it's like.
Drop in on people. You can randomly choose a random drop in. Some folks were saying it was kind of region based, so it would pick the closest person to you. And so like somebody was dropping in on somebody randomly, and they would go out and try to do it again. It would pick the same person repeatedly.
Mm-hmm.
It was either A, a bug, or B, they were the only person within range or something. So you can have random drop-ins. We haven't tried that particular feature.
Dennis Yamaguchi Jr. He also said that major updates to World of Warcraft had problems. I believe it. Working on and maintaining an MMO is expensive.
It's a full-time thing all to itself. They would have to have a separate team from the development team constantly just maintaining it.
Yes.
And because they would need game masters, they would need server operators to maintain it on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
They would need all that. And they really don't have that right now, because they'd have to have more staff to do that than what they have. Otherwise, there'd be less staff working on them. My God, it's getting foggy here. Gee, many crickets. I'm getting whiteout conditions. What's going on? My beautiful scenery just turned gray. Alrighty then. This is intense. Okay, but anyway, that they would have to hire more people to make an MMO. So that's money right there. They'd have to set up the servers always on. That costs money. You know, utilities, networking, and all that costs money. So, and again, you have to have a version of the game that's running on the server in a server mode. They would have to have a separate mode. Now, saves would have to be synchronized. It's a lot of work. I would expect it for at least 2 years, even if they wanted to. Even tomorrow, I would expect it for a while.
Although I do have to say that the way the game currently is right now, they have the foundations for one.
Oh, yeah.
Right now. They have the foundations for an MMO right now.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. There's a lot that need to be added still, but it's a good start. I described it this way. I like how they do their stuff, because they build layers and layers and layers and layers and layers and layers. If you look at how they've been putting the game together, they'll build one layer, then they'll build another layer, and they'll build another layer, and each layer adds more to the game and enhances in the upgrades and enhances the layer underneath. And my God, this is really changing a lot of it. Just sitting here and watching this area change light and color and everything is just, there's a whole palette of colors here. It just keeps shifting. I'm staying put on this planet. I like this. This is very dramatic looking. But anyway, what was I saying? But yeah, they would, the more the networking improves, and I would expect it to as over time goes, it to get better. I bet the orbs will eventually go away and you'll see people in full.
Yeah.
I think they're going to reach a stage where that will become very possible. And I think people will start asking for it. I mean, they're already asking for it, so... And here's the good news. If enough people pester them long enough about it, they are very responsive to what the community wants.
Yes.
Even to sometimes having features they don't necessarily want. The ability to shoot each other in your 4-man team, they added that, even though they didn't want it. But they knew we would want it.
Yeah.
They added it. And that's confirmed. That's Sean Murray himself.
And Dennis, yes, I like the idea of how Hello Games, unlike a lot of other game companies that release unfinished or broken games, and
they give up on them.
They give up on them. A lot of them do. And Hello Games,
they didn't. They
continued working on the game. They did stay quiet for a long time. They didn't communicate. That's what made everybody cranky. They should have really communicated better.
Here's why I don't think they did. Here's why I think they were so quiet. Nothing they would have said would have mattered.
Yeah.
And they knew it. They already knew that not a word they said, it would have only made it worse.
Mm-hmm.
And because they were like, oh, you lie. That's all you would have heard. It would have been nothing but drama. They were smart enough to know that it wouldn't have mattered. They drove everybody crazy, but they also know they were keeping the drama down.
Yeah.
They were making their own base mad, in a way, by not communicating, but they were not getting into the larger, useless, pointless argument that would have ensued if they had tried to say something.
Uh-huh.
And I think that was their mentality. As much as I hated it, it was probably the right thing to do, was just get back to work, don't get tangled in the drama, focus on making the game great, delivering on the promises. It drove us all nuts. That's why they put the ARG out, to let us know they're still alive out there, because they're doing some long update cycles. And they knew that was going to drive everybody mad. So that's why they tossed the ARG out there for us, something to do. And you know, okay, it wasn't the best solution, but I think it was the lesser of two evils.
Yeah.
I think getting out there and talking and starting a conversation would have done nothing but start an argument. And it's an argument that they didn't want to get into. And it might have even soured everything if they had, because then they would have been like hearing more hate, hearing more crap. They were already getting death threats. They were already getting bomb threats over stupid stuff. They didn't need the drama. And they just focused on the work, and it shows. I think in the end, as much as we may not like it, in the end, I think they did the right thing.
Yeah. Yes, he did. At the end of the ARG, Sean Murray did apologize, and he said he's sorry for not being able to communicate better.
He apologized.
So you're right, Dennis. He did.
He did.
Yep.
He apologized. He said, we made mistakes. You know, we screwed it up. We know that. We got it. We got the memo. We screwed it up. And we're sorry, is what he said. In so many words. They did say that. And that goes a long way, because most developers, you get people out there, they won't apologize for crap. Then they'll sit there and screw you over, go ha-ha, and walk off with your money, leave you with a broken game, and never look back. And these guys didn't. I think it makes some people madder that they didn't, because their game that they love so much, whatever it is, you know, like Mass Effect Andromeda and all those games, they wanted more from those game developers. And they look at Hello Games and go, why do these guys do that, and why can't our guys for this game that we love over here, what's their problem? And they get mad, and so they're hating on they're hating on Sean Murray for, you know, doing the right thing.
Yeah.
They're not really mad at him. They're really mad at the person who left them in the lurch on their favorite game over there, like Andromeda or whatever else. That's what they're mad at. They're mad at EA for screwing them over with all the microtransactions and games released with no actual game in it and stuff. That's what they're mad about.
And you were already here.
Who?
Well, oh, the heck?
I didn't do it.
Trying to claim my base area.
Who? Mike?
Mike.
No. It is,
Nice cobalt.
I'm at the ancient ruin, and this has been dug out already.
Oh, you probably found the one I was at earlier.
Yeah.
I need cobalt. Anybody got any cobalt?
Well, it was on my trader.
You mind
I
dropping
think
it in?
I think that
Cobalt?
Dennis, I think that Hello Games, they really did bite off a little more than they could chew with this game. This game needed a much larger dev team.
Oh, they definitely.
They needed
work on that.
more money. They needed a big dev team. They, like, seriously.
They grabbed a very large tiger by the tail with this game.
Oh, not good.
These guys got on top of the bull and they went for 10 rounds. They really did. I mean, they've accomplished an amazing amount of work in a relatively small period of time, comparatively to what they pulled off. Enough cobalt here. I want to make a trip back to the station. Alright, fine. I'm trying to build a teleporter so I can just work from here. But I need a lot more cobalt. Alright. Yes, trip it is. Alright, one more trip. I built that teleporter device, Mike, that teleport receiver.
Yeah.
I built it. It's weird because it gives you access to your inventory on my freighter, but not the freighter directly, which is kind of backwards to what it does, but I can still get my stuff out even though I think it's glitched. I know one thing, they do respond to things like updates and stuff. They, or bug requests and stuff. They do respond to that kind of thing. Because I know that I reported on a bunch of stuff. Like, I had reported on, way back in 1.1, some of the walls being misaligned. And then later on, I saw an update for the walls being readjusted in their alignment.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, cool, there's some stuff that I think many of the things that I've reported on, not saying it's just me, I'm sure other people did it, but those kinds of things that got reported on did get fixed. They didn't leave them lingering for, well, except for what they did leave lingering. If you get in early when they make these updates and you report these bugs early, they do get fixed. And I'm hoping they do that more on a regular basis. And I need to slow down. I said slow down. That is not slow down. That is too fast.
Well, I grab a gravito ball from that, on top of that place, and it was a gravito ball just standing there, sitting there at the ruins. I grab it, and I suddenly get a 3-star.
Oh yeah. Well, you know the Sentinels don't like you grabbing their balls. What did you expect to happen? They're with the rating on the channel. I couldn't help it. You left that one wide open. Anyway.
Whoa.
That's
Dennis
mild
just says that
compared
they've
to
got
what you had,
60,000 concurrent players on Steam now.
What? Wait, run that by me again. Say that
Says
again.
on Steam today, they have 60,000 concurrent players.
Holy crap.
The last time they released a big update, they got 20,000. So, wow. Yeah.
Big difference, night and day right there. Insufficient units, yes, I know. This stuff's not cheap. 2-to-1 ratio. I should be fine if I do that.
But for anyone just joining us, anyone watching, this is a live review and just a little gameplay of No Man's Sky. And my verdict is, get the game.
Get it.
Get it.
Get it.
It's worth
Get
it.
it. Go for it. Go for it.
I mean,
You know, it's really good.
yes, it is good. It is. This is what was promised in
This is more than
interviews. This is more
This is
than what
more.
was promised. But this was what was promised and more.
The only thing that I'm gonna say, and they actually commented on, by the way,
Yeah.
and I love somebody's comment to their comments. I was like, where are the sandworms? I'm gonna petition for the sandworms. And they actually talked about the sandworms, and they said they tried to do it, and they said it really wasn't any fun. The sandworms are overpowered and too powerful to take on for the players. Somebody commented on that and said, "Oh yeah, challenge accepted." They said it wasn't very exciting. It was just, it didn't set that run. They were overpowered, and somebody said challenge accepted, and I just crashed into my freighter.
That's right. You do bring up a good point, Dennis. This game not only being sold on Xbox, it's also being sold via Tencent.
Oh yeah, they've got a huge audience there now too. We're not even going to get those numbers.
And
They're
that's
telling what
a
they're there.
massive audience over there in China.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Tencent's a big deal over in China. They are basically Steam
They're their
in
version
China.
of Steam. Yep. So they're getting some Udo change off this update. They're gonna have some change for quite a while.
This is a big hole.
Oh where did my base go up to? There it is. Well, what I'm on, Mike, is I'm on a water world.
Ah.
And you know what I want to do here. I am founding, you know what I've already named the planet? Atlantis.
Ah.
So you know what I have in mind here. May not be the exact spot I'm going to do it at, but I need to get more stuff done.
Yeah, the majority of PUBG players do come from China, but this game is targeting a very different kind of audience from PUBG and Fortnite.
Yeah, it's not targeting them.
Yeah.
You know, most games usually have a core audience that they're targeting. This game's focused toward the exploration, Minecrafty sandbox thing.
Yeah.
That's the audience that this is for.
This game's more like Minecraft in space.
Yeah, this is Minecraft in space. I've had more feeling like Minecraft in space from this than anything else. And people say a mile wide and an inch deep. No, this is way deeper. This has got content. There's content in this game. It's not content in the way that you would expect from Fortnite or stuff. It's like what you would see in more like Minecraft.
Yeah. Marrow bulbs.
Okay. Now I should be able to build that stinking teleporter. Okay. Now let's build this.
Oh yeah, China is a big market. They even get a little bit of interest from China for this game. They would be doing really well.
Whoa! What was that? Okay, I set that down and something exploded. Boom! Alright, I have it working teleporter.
That's how they're going to be able to get us all those weekly updates. I was worried about, where's all the money going to come from to do all these updates that they say they're going to do, these weekly updates, and basically going to come from Xbox and Tencent.
That's where the money's going to come from. And, I think it's more people who were on the fence about this before. I think now they can they can cross that line now and be more relaxed about it. And actually get the game now.
Giant Crescent Pikachu. Yeah, basically the entire galaxy has been regenerated.
Oh yeah.
So a lot of people complain their planets are gone. One person in I think it was the Steam comments said that if you go to a planet, if you have a planet's coordinates, and sometimes when you go to those worlds, the wow, extreme cold at night. If you go to certain portal addresses, you will emerge out in the middle of space, empty space.
Yeah, they're all the coordinates are all different.
Yeah, so there's bugs.
Here's the thing. The planets are bigger.
Yes, the planets are definitely bigger. I mean, name me a game these days that doesn't launch without bugs. I challenge anybody to name me one that does.
I mean, you've sat down and regularly watched montages of hilarious bugs in Star Wars.
Oh God, there's a channel that's almost dedicated to it. Bombastic. They do some of the most hilarious videos for Battlefront 2.
I mean, if EA and Disney can't get it right, come on. You know what I mean? Seriously.
Some areas, I think Hello Games preserved certain areas, like certain hubs, because those are on the Galaxy map website. I think they did preserve some of those.
I don't think they preserved that. What they did is anybody who had bases, which is really where it's about.
Mm-hmm.
The bases got they made a thing where you could convert your base over. Since the base system is radically different now, they had a way of keeping the templates for your old base. You can pretty much drop your old base down into the new system.
Yeah.
Although I don't know what they're doing with the storage containers because number 0 is still missing. I got reported on that yet.
Yeah, if you had stuff in that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened.
What would happen to it?
One of our storage containers is missing. In terms of the game doesn't have storage container 0 anymore. I think it's a bug. I'm surprised it hasn't already been fixed yet. But and you can't work for freighters yet. It's perfect too. So there's a lot of stuff that's dorked right now.
Oh, where's your freighter? currently?
Mine? I'm back over our original.
Back in our original home base? Yeah.
Not the pretty world. The oh, fuel sticks. What am I ever? Okay, I know.
Yeah.
I gotta go else.
Okay. Dennis, the guy in the chat ran into the same problem you did with the
Which problem?
the problem with the gaps in the when you put storage containers on your freighter and there are gaps between them.
Yeah.
He ran into the same issue.
Yeah.
How did you solve that problem?
Me or him?
You.
I never did. Well, I did a bug report on it, and they eventually adjusted. It was really bad, and they adjusted it a little bit in one of the minor patches.
But you did something to the way you built. You had like curved walls connecting them, or something. You did something to get rid of that. I think you said you had to do it that way.
Oh, okay. You're talking about the new system?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. The storage containers do not fit properly in the geometry of the new freighter system. They don't fit. Now this is related to freighters. If it's something else, if it's not that. The new walls and stuff don't fit the old designs very well. And what I discovered was, if you do one of the hallway types, let me go up there and see if I can name a type of it. What I'm doing is I have it like a cross, like a hallway cross section, like an X crossway.
Mm-hmm.
If you put the storage containers at the end of those little halls, so you make one hallway, but the hallway is built out of cross section hallways, and on each side, if you connect the front of the storage container to that hallway, it will fit and not have leaks.
Ah. It takes up a lot of extra space to do that.
It takes up unnecessary extra space. You can't lay them right next to each other. That doesn't work.
Yeah.
Because you're going hallways and it'll have curved sections, but those curved sections are what you need in order to prevent it from having the gaps. But those curved sections are because it's a hallway. So you have hallways that have what look like cylindrical pillars between each of them. And there's 9, so I got one at the end because 0 is missing right now.
Yeah.
So use hallway pieces in X format, or like the plus format. Let's see if we can get the name of it. Freighter Cross Junction. It's right next to the Fleet Command Group. It's one left of the Fleet Command Group.
Yeah.
That's the one you want to use. And if you make a hallway of those, you can stick the storage containers in the side pathways, and that will prevent them from having. In fact, it actually looks pretty good. The way the container looks and the way the wall connects to it, it looks like it's bolted in place. So it's not terrible looking. It's just more gangly than I would have preferred. But it works. It seals the hole in the wall. They need to have the wall geometry adapt to the containers, or make special freighter-based containers. They need to work on that.
Yeah.
The other thing is the frigates need their geometry adjusted. The frigate I have, occasionally I have areas I can't get through. And I've been putting bug reports in for all these. The other thing they need to do is the cloud's outer boundary. They need to not have that render when you're in the freighter. But you would basically have the outer boundary, which is supposed to be in the far distance, sitting in the middle of your freighter.
Yeah,
So,
I'm using this controller. It's a 360
I expect
compatible controller. Yeah, but Dennis, he had to rebind the grenade controls because he sort of kind of blew himself up at his refiner. Went to put something in it and boom. Which, speaking of boom, you sent out a ship for a mission. You have a freighter.
Yeah.
And you sent out one of your ships on a mission, and I mean the stuff that they went through in the log.
Amazing. Okay, so here's what happened. The way you get a freighter right now is at least one of the ways. I don't know if there are more. You can straight buy one, but the first one you come across that's under attack, if you rescue it, the captain will give it to you. This happened to me and Dave, and I think Mike just messed his first round up. They will give you that first freighter. There will be a frigate already assigned to it, or you can assign one frigate for free. The frigate, the one I got, was a combat frigate. I sent it on a mission. And so I'm doing other things, and then I get a thing saying, the frigate was damaged, do you want us to come back, or do you want us to keep going? So concerned, I said, okay, come home. So it was really cool. It was like, you're the actual commander who's, being requested by the crew. Do you want us to, give us orders, Captain? We're having a serious issue here. So it was really cool. That's one of those neat little things they don't tell you about that's kind of in there, or they just bundle it under some other comment and not even give you the details. But anyway, when it got back, this control room, this command room that you create, gives you a log of everything that happened to that freighter. It's like the airship missions in Final Fantasy XIV, if you know what those are. Anyway, it's like it had like log entry, such and such. We went to this system and we did a stealth mission and went on to this and were able to get the goods. And then we went onto this system and we did some trade and we got these goods. And then we went into this system and we assaulted some stuff and got these goods. And then we picked up some cargo from this other one, but the bomb was smuggled on board in the cargo and exploded and took out part of the ship. And that's when they requested assistance from command, received orders to return back to base. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, if they take that kind of and it was detailed too. Mm-hmm. That wasn't even all of it. It was long. And I'm thinking, oh my God, if they have it so that we can go on those kinds of missions with them and do that kind of stuff that it just described in flavor text. Oh yeah.
Oh God.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
That was some detailed stuff. I'm like, okay, this is some interesting stuff in here. The smuggling mission. I had one that said they couldn't. They returned because they took damage because they couldn't overcome the enemy cloaking device. It was like all kinds of different things. I'm like, oh my God, they've got all these different things.
I like the one where they disguised themselves as pirates to get aboard their ship to sabotage them.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, holy crap.
If they add that content where you can actually do it in the game, oh boy. This game would sit at the top of the charts forever if they did that.
Yes.
It would literally be Star Citizen at that point. And that's the kind of stuff that Star Citizen's trying to implement.
Mm-hmm.
They would have beaten them to the punch.
Yeah.
If we could join those fleets, if we could give those orders, and then say, okay, hold up, commander's coming on board, he's going to lead this mission personally, and then we go on that mission with our team as a 4-man crew and do those kinds of missions, and it just drives me crazy because it's like, even they've got to think at Hello Games that this could be cool to do.
Yeah, he's TigerCon. He is my co-host on a lot of videos on my channel, Zort Central. I do videos here on Gamers Bay as well as on my own. Zort Central and Gamers Bay are both sort of associated, linked to one another. And Tigra is in some of my videos. We used to do Elite Dangerous stuff, but Elite Dangerous is currently in the middle of killing itself,
Yeah.
committing suicide because the developers really don't care about the game.
Yeah. So anyway, so if they're already adding that into game, it really gets me excited because I'm really hoping that even the thinking we should make these missions doable live.
Yes.
Then that really has got me jazzed up because if they add that, oh, just wow. Okay, I'll shut up now.
Yes, that would be those kinds. Having those kinds of missions would be, whoa. Okay. Wait a minute. Why is it saying I didn't have enough marrow bulb? It wanted me. Hold on. How many marrow bulb do I have to get? Acquire. Oh, cobalt. I've got marrow bulb. Oh, I got to get cobalt. I got 2 cobalt. I need more. That means I got to find a cave someplace.
Alright, I have a base around here somewhere. To which direction do I fit?
Yeah, I even bought a. I mean, I'm not rich. I mean, most of the stuff that I have was picked up by Tigra and Dave. And this machine I'm working on, Dave and Tigra saved up for it, so that I could. It's both so that I could use it, and it's also for other stuff we do. And I've got a new personal rig, which used to be our old server. This machine takes its place. And so I don't have a whole lot of money to get stuff for my channel. I mean, even the capture card that the main camera works with, and which is froze up for some reason. That's hosed. That's not supposed to happen.
Alright.
Every once in a while, that one hoses.
Which one?
The main camera.
Is it messing up? It should be record on. I think
Okay,
it might be
there
the
it
capture
goes.
device. I think the USB hub might be not quite enough for it. I
Yeah.
think it's just too much data at once.
Yep.
If it had its own dedicated port, but I have no idea where we could put that on there for that.
There it goes. This makes me look like the guy from Home Improvement.
Okay.
But yeah, I have supplied some stuff for this setup. What was I trying to get to the point of? Oh, yeah. I had gone to the expense of buying a HOTAS setup for Elite Dangerous. And even an IR device that attaches to the side of the headphones so that it would do head tracking with the that free head tracking software or face tracking software. And then everything with that game started happening and we stopped playing. But I think this game pretty much takes its place.
I still occasionally play it.
Yeah.
It has to be within moderation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, don't start this bug.
Now I switch using a Stream Deck. A Elgato Stream Deck. But this is about No Man's Sky, not about Elite. Well, that's That's a discussion for another day. That would be a lengthy discussion for another day.
Discussion, you said. I can discuss it, that's for sure.
Disgusted.
Discussion. But yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I've got to find a cave.
Shanky with me. Okay, my Gek has had too much Gek nip. He's over here jigging.
Oh, here's a cave opening. No, no, that's just a hole. Not a cave opening.
My
Crappers.
characters here are acting wonky. I'm gonna teleport out and back because I think they're acting
Wonky?
wonky.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a Thrustmaster HOTAS I bought. There is a HOTAS available for the PS4 that Thrustmaster makes, and it's cheaper. And it also works on PC, but it has, like, barely any controls. The one I've got is the same one you have. It's the
It's not
T16000.
bad, but you have to really work to make it do everything you need to do.
Yeah. Where, oh where are the caves now? Kidding, it really wasn't money I had.
I think my scientists and Corvettes are confused, or my base builder guys are confused.
Yeah.
Not a good thing. I've broken them. It's easy to do in the early days of the street. I'm hoping that
Now, it was mentioned on Cobra TV's stream earlier that Ray Rod, who is one of the most... I mentioned him earlier in the stream. One of the most prolific of the No Man's Sky modders, discovered code that suggests that Hello Games is working on VR.
don't hype me, please. I can get hyped on this. Especially the way this looks now.
Yeah. And that was the problem with the game at the initial release. People had really high expectations. They let their imaginations go wild. The gaming media picked up on that and they just ran with it like crazy. And when the game didn't meet their expectations, they got into this whole attitude that Sean Murray had lied. When in his video interview before the game came out, he specifically states not everything would be in the game at launch.
Did that back in 2014.
Yeah. In fact, L Plays, he's another prolific No Man's Sky streamer. He plays that at the intro of all of his videos. That very video clip. Uh-oh. What? Uh-oh.
Remember the game-breaking bug back in 1.38?
Yeah.
1.3 base builders?
Yeah.
It's bad.
Uh-oh.
My Gek and Korvax are extremely confused.
then that pretty much confirms what we had guessed already about the game. That they went back and they used older code to make this update. Because they were building this for a long time.
I think one of the bugs that they had eliminated.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
Remember that one where you could tell they were confused as far as they couldn't progress because they were saying that they were already in progress and they weren't progressing?
Yeah.
It's doing that to me. They should get on with their business.
Yep.
It's bad. My Facebook progress is screwed. I'm gonna need to restart the game. Maybe that might clean this up, but my hopes are dim right now on that, if this is the original bug.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, this ain't good.
Lovely.
But maybe if I exit the game and restart it, maybe that'll pick them up. Because I thought they had I thought the base builders had a way to reset their quest, and there's no function to reset their quest.
Dennis just says, back up your saves regularly.
It's hard to know when this would have occurred, because I didn't know that this was. I didn't realize this bug was still a bug, because this was fixed back in 1.3 something. I didn't realize they had rolled that back, so.
Yeah.
You would have thought they'd have based this on 1.38 and not something earlier. I think it's a specific branch.
What this update does, a lot of what this update does, Dennis, is that it takes what they introduced in Atlas Rises, and they change a lot about it. A lot about when you get those things, when you get those new updates.
Okay, basically the way they changed base. If we're talking about base building.
Basically everything. It's
okay, so,
when you encounter certain technologies, when you start your base building.
Okay. Yeah, so I can explain this really easy.
Yeah.
What they did was when you started in 1.0, or actually 1.1, 1.2, and 1.3, you out the default knew a certain series of building parts.
Yeah.
And then they added the stalker guy, who I call the stalker, who sold you a series of other base parts, who was always in every single base. And he would sit there and sell you parts. What they did is they took all that knowledge away from you, of all those existing parts. And they added that new terminal, because you can build anywhere now, and that you exchange that for dug up technologies, and that slowly teaches you those original sets of parts until you eventually work it back up to the original system it used to have. And at a certain point, that progression resumes.
Yeah.
They added, prior to that base build, they added much simpler tech prior to that. And you don't know, so you don't know anything out of the box, and everything comes from the in-game terminals now. You don't by default know anything. Alright, did I fix these guys? Crap. It's broke.
Yeah.
I can't progress the base building.
It's where you moved your... I encountered it when I moved my base.
Yep. Well, that's what I did. Well, I moved them.
Yeah.
But see, before they had a way to reset them if they broke. That resetting option's not there.
Yeah.
So hold on, I gotta put this in. There's a game breaking bug. Okay, this is stopping all progression. Email address.
Okay, if the okay, if his core has been removed, why is he still moving around, looking around?
He's still alive. No, it's got my axe in his brain, in his back.
Ah. Alrighty then. I've got to get Pugnum so I can build a weapons terminal. That means killing sentinels. Yes, if there's one thing to say about this game, it's buggy, but it's fun. I mean, despite the bugs, the game is still fun. And in some places it can be really challenging. You still there?
Yeah.
Okay. You were...
I'm typing.
There was
I'm trying to put this bug recording.
a great deal of silence on your end.
What, you get nervous when I get quiet?
Yes, when you get quiet, it gets...
Good.
Yeah, the animations have all been redone. For a lot of I've noticed some of the characters still use the old animations, but overall the character animations have been completely redone. Alright, let me get...
Oh, the animations are great.
Yeah. Let's see.
Submitted. I'm not sure what to do with them because I can't get this space. Both guys are here, but they're not progressing.
Yeah.
And there's no reset on the quest. I thought there was a way to reset these. There's not. Just return to the scientist. Return to... Actually, wait.
The beauty of this is you don't have to worry about... The beauty of this is you don't have to worry about looking for another base site. You can build anywhere.
Yeah.
Just put down a base computer and build. Even have multiple bases on the same planet if you want to.
Yeah. I don't know what the limits on that are.
Yeah. And...
I gave it work for now.
And each base site can have 20,000 pieces.
Yeah, 20,000 pieces that you can add. It's a huge limit, and somebody got confused at one point and thought that it was 20,000 new parts. No. There's hundreds of new parts, but it's 20,000 pieces per base.
Yeah.
It's actually probably considered complexity and not pieces if that's still the same.
Yeah,
Disagree with you, bud. Yeah, they're not progressing. It's the same thing you encountered.
Ah, same bug.
The bug is back. They fixed this and they broke it again.
Yeah, it's something they're gonna have to fix it because they did fix it the last time.
I listed it as a game-breaking bug. They got a way on their thing to say if it's critical that you can't progress. You know, it's a game-stopping bug. That's
Yeah.
what I'm listing it as, because it is.
Yep.
Because I can't progress in anything now.
Huh.
They fixed these guys where they used to not have this problem. They did it first back in 1.38 or 1.3 something. I think it's like 1.32 or 3 or something. It was one of the early patches.
Yeah.
And they're doing it again. Missions have the same problem, but they added an abandoned mission button. That's still there, but these guys got rolled back somehow. Used to be if you just deleted their terminal and re-added them, that would straighten them up, but I've already tried that. Where it's like, okay, so like I'm gonna remove the scientist. It removes the quest from my logs. I'm gonna pull you out. Let me exit the game. Now that's interesting. The science guy. Okay, that's weird. When I removed the base builder, the quest for him vanished. But when I removed the scientific guy, his quest didn't vanish. That's checked out. Let me try exiting with these. Remove and see what happens when I log back in. I'm just trying different things here and see if I can jinkle this loose. Stuff to see if I can shake it loose. If I can trip some piece of code up that would cause it to start working again. I know you've got bugs.
Okay. So we'll have to bring the stream to a close here soon.
It's still good. I mean, I'm kind of annoyed by this, that the fact that this bug is back, but they do fix these over time. They do get these things working. That's why I make the bug reports, because I know they respond to it.
Oh, you can scroll through the list of terminus of I've got more than 5 here.
They really expanded that.
Yeah.
That's they've got filters on it, which means it's designed to hold a lot of lane.
You just
I've noticed it's more than 4 space stations too.
You can scroll through it. You can also filter. Because they've got filters here. Bases. Space station.
Your bases, sprint bases, and space stations.
Weird thing is they're showing my old base when they sort for bases.
It's a bug. I've already reported it. It's a deleted base.
Yeah.
Their deleted bases are not being removed.
Other players' bases.
I've already reported that bug.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I deleted the base, and then I got 2 base computers near the same location.
Yeah, there's
with the same base name.
I'm not sure if there's a maximum amount that can be on the list. I mean, there's a lot of star systems out there. Though not all star systems have space stations. That's the one thing about this update, is not all star systems have space stations. Some star systems are devoid of settlements.
Alright, this game is janked. I can't go any further. I'm stuck at the moment until they fix this with the base building. Berg! Bugs!
But final thoughts on this, because there's dinner in the oven on this. This is a significant upgrade to No Man's Sky. The next update is a significant improvement to the game. It brings it in parity to what we were promised 2 years ago, actually back in 2014 in Sean's original interview for this game. And it even gives us a little more than that.
It's still good. It's just, it's got, don't move your people until they fix this.
Yeah, some star systems do not have space stations. They are completely abandoned systems.
Yeah, I've not encountered those yet, but I've heard they exist.
This is a significant step forward for No Man's Sky into the future. There's going to be weekly updates. There's going to be community events.
Okay, I think I might have jinxed it.
And who knows what else they're going to be releasing
I got it
6
loose.
months from now in major updates.
I think I got it loose, Mike.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I just like, I think I might have got it to untangle.
Ah.
I had to return back to the system where it's trying to force me to go. It sees that they're not there, and then it gave me a mission update. Now I'm headed back.
Ah, cool.
So I think it's just, you got to jank with the teleporting to get it straight.
Yeah. Dennis, thank you for joining us in chat. And yeah, this was a sort of a spur of the moment thing, because this stream was supposed to have happened on the day it was released. Cool.
Got to work. I'm sorry. I didn't interrupt.
This stream was supposed to have happened on Tuesday, and stuff happened, and we weren't able to do it. So, doing it today, making it a live review, just talking about the game, and it's worth getting.
Oh yeah,
it's worth getting.
Definitely.
Forget about the drama people created with their overinflated expectations, because they expected a lot, and the media ran with it, thinking that, oh yeah, this was going to be in the game, and when it wasn't, it made people think Sean Murray had lied. If you actually look at his interviews from 2014, he talked about this update. He talked about this version with the multiplayer and the co-op. Everything that's in this, he talked about that and said it wouldn't be available
and there's
at
this other thing,
start.
And we can't talk about it yet.
Yep.
It's like that. He's like, and it's multiplayer, and it's like, that was back in 2014.
Yeah.
And he was planning this.
So, all those people spreading stuff about Sean Murray lying, completely not true. So this game, it's worth it. You have an Xbox, pick it up. You have a PS4, pick it up. If you have a PC and you've got Steam, pick this game up. If you like games where you do exploration, don't come in here expecting Call of Duty. Don't come in here expecting Destiny. This is a chilled experience. If you like games like Minecraft or Imperium Galactic Survival, games like that, Space Engineers, if you like games like that, you will like No Man's Sky. This is the kind of game that it is. John Murray next mess. Alright, so I am Mike the Zorch. On the stream with me was TigerCon.
I'm expecting to find my scientist floating through space now.
And on with us was Dave, but he didn't really say much. But Dave is usually quiet.
Yeah.
So, I am Mike the Zorch. Thanks for watching our first live review on the Gamers Bay channel. So if you liked our content, consider subscribing. Remember to click the bell icon to get notifications. That's assuming that YouTube will send you a notification. They haven't been doing that for some people. It's a problem. They should fix it. They made it that way, and that's kind of stupid. Also, whenever I stream on Gamers Bay, I also stream on Twitch. And so you can go to my Twitch channel, the real Zorch, or the true Zorch. The link is in the description below, and you can follow me there. So whenever I stream, whenever I stream on my channel, I also stream to Twitch and Mixer as well. So that is our signal to go. So I thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.